Hello there. I'm Erika Chavez, Director of Community Relations at SmithLife Homecare. Welcome to the Ask the Expert series. For those unfamiliar with SmithLife Homecare, we are affiliated with Charles E. Smith Life Communities, a reputable elder care brand with over a century of community service. We operate in Washington, D.C. and Montgomery County. The Smith Life Home Care as the Expert series is dedicated to sharing essential insights and resources for aging in place. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing our special guest, Marielba Rivera-Velazquez, and our focus today revolves around attorneys and counselors at law, and we are delighted to have her. Thank you, Marielba, for being here and shedding light on your work. So let's jump in with a few questions. Can you please, Marielba, tell us a little bit about yourself and your firm?
Of course. First of all, I want to thank you, Erica, for this opportunity. I'm very happy to be here, especially with you. Um, I grew up in Puerto Rico. I am the youngest of 8 siblings, and the oldest one has been living here in Annandale, Virginia for 30 years. So eventually, I followed him. I've been an attorney for 14 plus years. During that time, I've been in the public service for around 5 years, and the rest of the time, I had a very diverse practice that included estate planning for my clients as the main objective and or as complementary services. In 2020, I decided to go and open my solo practice and dedicate my practice on estate planning and elder law because I understand the value that our services bring to families and help them navigate difficult situations. If they're well guided, those difficult situations don't have to be more difficult than they are.
That's wonderful. Thank you again for being here. So I remember when we were setting up this episode, you mentioned something about the superpowers. Can you please elaborate a little bit about this? What is it?
Yes, I call them the superpowers because they are very important documents and they can be very powerful. These are the documents that will help that person that will step up. That moment that you're not able to act for yourself or on your behalf because of an event that has incapacitated you, then at that point, that person will, with those documents, will be able to help you when you're not able to do or make decisions for yourself. And they're also called ancillary documents. It's a set of documents.
That's a new word for me. So can you please tell us about the ancillary documents and what is involved with each of them?
Okay. Well, the ancillary documents are a set of documents. It's the advance directives, the EPA release. It includes the end of life decisions and the power of attorney. The power of attorney is the backbone of your estate plan. Okay. So the advance directives is more about the medical treatment that the person will be receiving, right? So the person that is appointed will be able to make decisions regarding medical treatment. The EPA release is to be able to access medical records. In the event that those records and the information that is in the records is going to be helpful to make smarter decisions regarding the medical treatment. The end of life decisions are those difficult decisions and we recommend, the attorneys recommend, and I recommend that you make those decisions in advance for yourself. That will lift a burden to your loved ones and your family members, because they don't have to then try to think about what mom or dad or aunt wanted for themselves. They know because they have that in writing, right? And it also avoids any discussion between the family members of what we should do. As a member of a big family, everyone has its own opinions, and that is perfectly fine. But if we know what the person wanted to see happen, then we don't have to get in conflict, right? Those are decisions are difficult. So also, we don't carry, or the person that is appointed and makes the decision doesn't have to carry the guilt of having made X or Y decision, because again, it was what the person wanted, right? And then the power of attorney is the document that will allow the person to make financial decisions. Okay. And when you're working with older adults, as elder law attorneys, we are trained to foresee a lot of the circumstances that may arise later in life and throughout a person's lifetime. So within that power of attorney, we are able to design a document that will allow the person appointed to make decisions and make changes that are needed to make sure that the person is well taken care of. Now, for example, are we taking mom to a rehabilitation center or not? That would be a medical treatment decision. But how can we engage with that center? That would be a power of attorney. That's what the adequate tool would be, the power of attorney, to be able to engage in additional services or services for care, etc.
So I think on the same note, in your experience, what are the common challenges professionals face when dealing with ancillary documents, and what strategies do you recommend for effectively managing these challenges?
Well, like I said, the power of attorney is the backbone of the estate plan. Um, and estate plans are done for a specific moment in life, trying to foresee situations in the future, right? But that's limited because life is uncertain, right? So the power of attorney should be a document that will be helpful when situations change, right? And circumstances change and needs change, and the person is not able to make decisions for themselves. What I see often is powers of attorneys that limit or restrict the actions that the agent is able or is authorized to make. And it's not because of a lack of trust, because you have to choose someone that you do trust to begin with, but because it was not a proper document that was placed, right? So one thing that my advice is, if you're dealing already with an older adult, make sure that your plan is done by an elder law attorney, and that way you are sure that those documents will work for the lifetime of that person and for the circumstances that arise, particularly to older adults, right?
Yes. So
As
I
a
consider, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
working in home care, and you I'm sure you know that the industry is very robust, right? There are a
Mhm.
lot of services that are out there for older adults, and usually people don't know about them until something happens and they need to figure out how we help our loved one, our aunt, our neighbor, our mother or father, So we want to make sure that those scenarios are contemplated in that document. And in that event, that person that steps up out of love is able to use those documents to make sure that they can provide the care and the services that the older adult need, which are particular.
Yeah, there's a lot of good information that you just gave us. But just, is there anything else we should know about the superpowers or your law firm?
Get them.
Okay, that's
Make
great.
sure that you have your documents. Once you're an adult, you should be able to have these documents, so that in the event of incapacity, somebody who is gonna step up for you, most of the time out of love, trying to resolve something, trying to help you, has the adequate tools to be able to do so. If you're 18, if you have 18-year-old children and they're in college and something happens and they don't have these documents, mom and dad are going to have trouble trying to help their adult child in any situation. So just don't think about it. It's very simple. The process is a very simple process. Just get them.
Okay, let's do something, Marielba. I've been thinking about myself, my own personal experience, and also because we deal with seniors all the time, that's a word that we use almost every day. We need a power of attorney. Like you mentioned, if the senior cannot sign by himself, so we always ask for power of attorney. So what about if we start thinking about doing a second part of this, the Ask the Expert series, and then we can dive in a little bit more about the power of attorney. Maybe we can do one for myself and we can show our viewers how it's done. How can you do it? Would you be willing to do that with me?
Of course, I love that idea.
Okay, wonderful.
That would be perfect. And that way you see the process whenever you recommend it to someone, then you can let them know how it is. But yes,
Perfect.
I love that idea. I would be
Wonderful.
delighted.
Yes, thank you so much, Mariel. Well, before wrap up, we'll provide contact details for attorney and counselors at law, so you can learn more about their initiatives and reach out to Marielba. Thank you all for tuning in, and Marielba, your willingness to share these insights with our audience is much appreciated. See you next time in the new chapter of the Ask the Expert series. Remember, second part of this one, Power of Attorney with Marielba Rivera. Goodbye for now.